Hey guys, I'm Adam H, and today we're taking it back down to the basics and setting up a couple of CDJ 2000s and a DJM 700. Check this out. So a question we get asked a lot is, how do you know where all these cables go? Alongside of, oh my god, look at all them buttons. So today I'm going to show you what cables we need and how we go about connecting them up. So we've got a link cable, which is just like an Ethernet cable. This links the decks together, so you can send one track to the other, and that's how we put one USB in and send the data straight over to the other deck. Of course, we need some high quality RCA leads, which you probably see these in red and black. These were a bit different, but the higher quality. We've got power. So the two things you need power, you need audio. So let's take a closer look. On the back of your Pioneer CDJ, we've got, which is pretty much the same on the majority, a USB port, a link port, digital out, and for your RCAs, which is your audio out. Now we're going to start off by applying some power. So depending which CDJ it is, it might be the big kettle lead or the little one. In this case, it's the little one. So these are the 2000s before Nexus. So power securely in that. Now we need the RC. So we're going to pretend this is your red, and obviously this is white. So red channel, right red, left channel, white. Nice and easy. And next, we need to apply your Ethernet cable, which is your link. Just like that. Nice and easy. Now if you're like me and you like to mess about with laptops and software and things like that, you can also plug in your USB. If you want to know where you can buy these, check out in the links below, and I'll put a link to the page on where you can purchase these cables. They obviously all vary in price depending what you get, length, etc. Right, so that's the first deck done. Let's do the second one. So as I say, practice makes perfect. We're doing exactly the same again. So power in, make sure it's switched off. Plug in your RCA leads. So green to red and white to left. And of course, to link the decks together, the link cable. There we go. So now we've got those connected to the decks each side. Now we're going to introduce the mixer. As we said before, this is a DJM 700. So what we're going to do today is pretty much similar for all mixers. So this is a CD player, CDJ. So if we want to put it in either line or CD. Now some mixers do have both. Some have phono line or phono CD. It doesn't really matter if it's line or CD, unless you're probably using the control option with the crossfader, which I don't see many using these days. So it's just a case of exactly the same again. We're putting green to red and white to left. Just match them up. And then the same for the other side. So we take this one. And I like them in channel 1 and channel 4, so I've got a split. It doesn't really matter where you put them, it's completely your choice. There's no right and wrong to this. As long as it goes in a line or a CD port, you're exactly the same. So I'm going to go in line, because the other one's a phono on channel 4, which, if you don't know what phono is, it's basically vinyl. Right, so we've got them two in, and of course power. So we've got power to the decks, and we've got power to the mixer. This is where all the cables start looking at spaghetti junction. So we've got this deck and this deck both plugged into the mixer, so we've got sound to go in. Now we need sound to come out. So as you see, master 1, I've got a nice little XLR lead there. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, which matches up with this. Generally speaking, I would put 2 in to achieve stereo, but in this instance I'm only plugging in 1 speaker, so I'm only going to plug 1 cable in. But when you're plugging in your speakers, you probably have 1 left, 1 right, which you plug exactly as you would here, 1 left, 1 right. So that's looking good to me. Now it's time to neaten it up. Right, so there we go. We've got the cables in now. We've got power 1, 2 and 3, all up and running, lights are working. So you've turned your decks on, you've got them powered up. I don't have a USB in these, I have a SD card. So I'm going to press SD, which brings up a list. So I can search by artist, album, track, or even a playlist that I've made. So I'm going to go to playlist, and we've got dance classics and trance. So I'm going to select one of those, and we'll go with Better Off Alone. Right, so as I'm scrolling, I'm using this knob to scroll up and down, and I'm pressing inwards to select which selection I want. Okay, so as you've noticed now, it's loaded up. It says there, Better Off Alone. Gives you a little flash there to confirm, so every time you load a track, little flash tells you it's loaded. Anti-play button starts flashing, and your Q button is lit to show that it's already queued up. So we're going to see if we get some sound now, make sure we've set things up properly. So remember, we put these into the CD port, so it says CD there. I'm going to flick that switch so it stays on CD. Now I'm going to put the fader up, I'm going to press play. So, not a sausage. So, we're going to turn up the trim, which is your gain, and you can see the lights. Now we don't want to be going up into the red mark, because redlining isn't headlining, guys, and your sound engineer will absolutely hate you if you start clipping on reds. It's just not good, it don't sound nice. So now we've got that, we know that it's going into the mixer. Now what we need to know is it coming out of the mixer. So now we go to master and we turn this up to see if we get anything. Perfect. So we know we've done the job right now. So pull that one back down, and now we do exactly the same on the next. So this time I'm going to press link, because if you remember, we plugged 1 cable into this one, which is, as it said, the link cable. So exactly the same again, down to playlist, we're going to 90s commercial, let's find a good one. Right, so we've selected that, it's flashing, Q button's lit up, play button is flashing, press play, fader up, trim up, there we go. So it looks like we've done a good job with setting things up. We've got sound from each deck, and we've got a visual showing that it's coming out. So that's pretty much it. Now, if you're not getting any sound, you then need to look at your top switches, make sure that they're on the right way. So if this was over here and I press play, there's no sound whatsoever. But as soon as I flick that back, we'll get sound. So first thing to check is here. Obviously check your cables are in securely as well, on this side and this side. Always check the back of the deck and the mixer, because it's on both, don't forget. Obviously if your link cable isn't working, it might be a dodgy one, so you might need to unplug that, swap it for a brand new one, or just see if you've got one laying around the house They tend to come free with most routers these days, so you can tend to find one and switch it out pretty quickly. So another thing, if you manage to press play, you've got a signal, you've got your trim up, and you've got your fader up, and you've got nothing coming out still, obviously check your master at the back, make sure that that's plugged in correctly. Obviously if you've already had this deck playing over here, then there shouldn't be a problem with the output. Check the crossfaders. If you look here, we've got A and B, flick that to through, there we go, we've got sound, and obviously the same for the others. But that all depends if you use crossfaders, but it'd just be a case of flick it back over again. So if you want to use that, obviously leave it on. If you don't, straight onto through, and then you're not going to accidentally knock it. Now, don't do this mistake like most beginners. Start controlling your volumes with this and leaving your faders halfway, because if you've got this up here controlling this and you slip and knock this, it's going to blow your sound system up. Always keep it at the top like this, and then it can't go any louder by accident. That's as loud as it's ever going to go, so don't do it, guys. It's an accident waiting to happen.